My job is okay, but it's not really how I want to spend my time or make money. It's not what I'm passionate about. But to be honest, I don't really know what I am passionate about. Sound familiar? Then you need to watch this video because I'm going to explain why this and journaling is going to become your new best friend and help you to uncover your own inner wisdom, listen to your inner voice, get unstuck, and know exactly what the right next step is that you need to do. Hi, I'm Alison, and I'm a life coach from the One Life School. And I help millennials who want more out of their life create a life they love through coaching, training, and education. And I am a long term journal fan. I've been journaling since I was a teen now. I have books and books and books of the stuff. And I think it's really helped me as well to get to know myself on a much deeper level and understand what I'm about, what's right for me, and what's not right for me. So in this video, we're going to cover why do you need to journal? How should you journal? And then some top journal prompts to help you so that you can start doing it straight away and feel benefits yourself. So why should you journal? Here are the 6 best reasons why I think anyone can benefit from a journaling habit and why it will help you to know your next step and find your purpose in life. Number one, journaling is great for helping you to declutter your mind and process your thoughts and feelings. Imagine your mind is like a pool table, and there are loads of balls on that table that are just knocking around randomly, doing their own thing, and not really going anywhere. That's what thinking is like. It's messy. There's all sorts of bits going around. We get distracted. We get stuck on certain things. Oh, what's happening for lunchtime? It's messy. Okay. So when you sit down and actually articulate what's going on in your mind and you force yourself to use a pen and paper or type it and have that sentence structure, you get to see and understand what you're thinking. And then when you look back at it, you can decide, so what now do I want to do with this information? It's the equivalent of someone coming along and then starting to pot all those balls into the holes. As the table clears, your mind clears and you can start focusing on other things. You can get similar benefits from sitting down with someone and again, forcing yourself to use words and sentences to describe how you're thinking and feeling. But journaling is sometimes better than having a conversation with another person because A, that person needs to be available when you need them. B, they need to actually be good at helping you to follow through a conclusion with your thoughts and feelings and not just interject with their own advice or go off track. And C, you might not be able to share everything that you want to, that you would do in your journal, particularly if some of those thoughts and feelings might be about them. Reason number two, journaling is great to help you process negative emotions, but it's also great to help you cultivate more positive emotions and think about your learning and your growth and development. When you journal, it's basically like having a coach in front of you who's asking you questions and helping to improve your own awareness and self insight. That's what a great coach does. They ask great questions, and in the process of answering them, you get to understand more about yourself and see areas where perhaps you need to do more work or spend more time and attention. So by changing what you write in your journal and moving from negative things and switching to more positive and then development type questions, you get to cultivate a whole new relationship with yourself that again, unless someone's asking you those things, why would you be knowing those answers? You don't have to rely on a conversation to get started. 3, journaling really helps you to develop a relationship with yourself. We talk about self-care and the importance of, looking after yourself. But be honest, how often do you actually sit down with yourself with a focus and intention to get to know yourself better? Probably not a lot. If you're like me, you're always watching, reading, listening to something, distracting yourself, being in conversation. Very rarely do I have that moment, unless I'm journaling, to sit with myself and get to know myself. Who am I? What do I like? What do I don't like? What's actually going on for me in my life? And what do I want out of it? Journaling is a great way to start that relationship with yourself. We can become very disconnected from our desires and what we want when we have so many other inputs telling us what we think we should like. Your writing leaves clues about what you like, who you are, where you want to go next, and you can follow those clues and then take the next right step. Number 4, Research shows that journaling, particularly expressive emotion journaling, is helpful for a number of different reasons, including it can improve your mood, it can reduce stress, it can even improve your immune system. So it can make you feel less susceptible to illnesses. If you want to check out more of the research, then look up James Pennebaker. Pennebaker, best name for a researcher who researches about journaling. Penn, Baker, get it? Amazing. Um, and he's done loads of stuff looking at the benefits of journaling. And if the research doesn't show it for you, then what about a load of very famous, very successful people in life have also journaled? Steve Jobs, Leonardo da Vinci, Marie Curie, Einstein. I mean, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for you. And it's not certain if they're successful because they journaled, but for whatever reason that they did it, they obviously found some benefit in doing it and keeping on a practice of it. Number five, journaling is a great way to help you capture your learning. So many times in life, we learn lessons, and so often we continue to relearn them again until we properly internalize and understand what it is that we need to do differently. And when you journal about some of these lessons and then look back on them, the intention is that you maybe don't have to keep making the same mistakes over and over again. And you can understand where your blind spots are and some of the things that you have to look out for. And it's all there on pen and paper or your computer for you to refer back to at any time. And number six, my favorite reason, out of all the self development practices, journaling is nice. And once you get into the hang of it, it's easy, it's indulgent. You don't have to get cold doing a cold shower. You don't have to get sweaty doing exercise. It's not hard like meditation, keeping on returning to your breath and feeling like you're not doing a very good job. Journaling, you get to go to a nice cafe, get a nice drink, sit down and just do some writing. And whatever happens is the right thing to do. You don't have to overthink journaling because whatever comes out is you, and that's what you're wanting to see on the paper. One thing just to note about journaling, if you have a tendency to over ruminate, journaling can support that habit, which is not necessarily helpful if you continually write about negative things and are not using it to process and let go of that emotion, but instead keep getting stuck on it. So if that sounds like you, then just keep an eye out for the things that you are writing. And if you're finding that journaling is supporting you to get stuck into these negative thoughts, then you might want to try some specific journal prompts just to help you loosen up a little bit and get the most benefits out of journaling. Okay, so now we have covered why. We're going to discuss how. Firstly, the basics: pen and paper or do it online. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. It's whatever works best for you. It helps you think the best. I personally write in pen and paper because that's where I do my best thinking. Sometimes, even if I have to write something on a computer, I'll almost do my thinking beforehand in pen and paper. And I spend so much time typing anyway. I just think it's nice to have a bit of analog in my life. And I can take my journal with me anywhere and it's easy and lightweight. So that supports that habit. But the downsides are if you do write on pen and paper, you can't easily find things. I can't just control F my own handwriting and see useful things that I've written beforehand. Of course, what I write is not necessarily safe, depending on how I store that journal. So if there are prying eyes and fingers in your household, then with a computer, you can at least password protect your stuff. What should you write? Well, it's not quite a diary. It's not what I did today and this happened and this happened and this happened. It's like a diary plus. So you want to be writing about the things that are meaningful for you and emotional for you in that day, whether that's positive or negative. A useful structure, if you're completely brand new to journaling, that I use that helps me to develop that reflection is thinking about what went well in my day or my week, what could have been better, and what did I learn or what would I do differently. So, just by following that structure, that helps you to develop that reflective insight and pick out the most salient things and get the most benefit out of journaling. Another method is morning pages. So, this was developed by Julia Cameron. And the idea is you just sit down first thing in the morning and write out 3 pages of whatever is on your mind. Stream of consciousness, write it out and keep going. And it doesn't matter what you're writing. It doesn't matter if the 3 pages is, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. Just write it out. And the idea is that by that Doing that brain dump first thing, you help to clear that pool table really easily, really early on. And that then opens up greater creativity and insight for you later on throughout the day. If you're particularly struggling with thinking about your purpose, your direction, what to do in life, then you want to be start thinking about your values. What are those things that make life really important and meaningful to you? What will make life worth living? And if you Google a list of values, you can pick out and see what are the ones that speak to you the most and journal about how you express them in your life or how you would like to express them in your life. Another thing is your strengths. What are you good at? That's a really positive way to understand more about what you might want to do in a future job because you want to be using things that come easy and natural to you that are your strengths. You may not necessarily know what they are unless you do a bit of exploring and a bit of reflecting. Because the great thing about strengths is because they're easy to you don't always identify them as a strength. Another great idea is write about what you want, coming back to being connected to your desire. Really excellent exercise and a difficult one is to write a list of 100 things that you want. What do you want in your life? It sounds easy, but actually it's pretty difficult. When you get to around 60, 70, you're really scraping the barrel there. The idea is again, starting to connect to that intuition of what you like, what you want, what makes life meaningful for you. And on the flip side of your wants, write about your jealousy, your envy. When you feel envy during your day, what is it about that situation that is making you feel that way? Because envy is just a sign of something that you want in your life that another person has. So, again, it's a really good way to get more in tune with your own thoughts and feelings about yourself. How often should you journal? If you can do it every day, great. But even that's too much for me. I probably do it a couple of times a week. And I think as a beginner, that's a great start. Once or twice a week for a couple of months. And then you start to develop that much deeper level of self awareness, self insight, and self reflection. If you can do it every day, and you might want to do like a kickstart challenge, like journal for 30 days, even if it's just for 5, 10 minutes, just to get you in the habit, then that might be a good gateway into journaling. But really, it's up to you. You want to do it so that you enjoy it and you keep coming back to it and you develop that habit consistently. And that might take a bit of trial and error in order to figure out what is right for you. But you get out of it what you put into it. Lastly, should you read back what you have written? Definitely, because this is where all the clues are left. You want to pick up those things, those little nuggets of information from your journaling that point to the things that you're interested in, that inspire you, that you are passionate about, that drain you, that make you feel scared. All of these little nuggets are left along the way. So have a habit of rereading, again, maybe about once a month, have a look through what you've written. And I go through with a highlighter and just highlight the key relevant points. Just through journaling alone, it will help you to improve your thinking and become more self aware. But that process of journaling plus rereading will really help to cement that process. And if you're figuring out what it is you want to do, what's the next step you want to take in life, then this is a belt and braces approach. So we've already talked about what to write and how to write. Now we're going to cover some top journal prompts. And if you have a look in the description for this video, you can download a free journal prompts workbook that I've created to help support you on your journey of figuring out your purpose, finding out your passion. But here are some ones to get you started. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What are you scared of? Why? 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 Keep asking why to get to that deep core root that you're afraid of. Reflecting on your day, reflecting on your week. What did I do that energized me? What drained me? If only people could fill in the blank, the world would be a better place. What is the ultimate aim of this? What is the point that you want to get to? And how do you know that you're doing it right? So, ideally, through journaling, you will develop this deeper insight and awareness about yourself. And that will then help you to decide what is the next action that you want to take that feels right. Then you take that action. Then you reflect on that action and you decide what's the next action that I want to take that feels right. And you repeat that process. And it's this process of insight, action, reflection that will ultimately lead you to uncovering what it is that you want to do. What's the thing that's going to give you meaning and purpose and make you feel like you're living a life of passion? You don't have to know it all straight away. You just have to know enough to get to the next step. There we have it. Why you should journal, how to journal, some top journal prompts, and then how you know if you are doing it correctly. I really hope you have enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I'd love to hear what your biggest takeaway from this video was. So leave it in the comments below. And please like and subscribe to our channel if you want more personal development related videos that help you create a life you love.